Nice. There you go. I know. Perfect. 8:49, everybody. Not only is it Pi Day, Pi is in 314, right? But not the pie you eat. There was also a total lunar eclipse while most of you were sleeping. Was there?
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Even through the clouds.
Was there. It was
yeah, on
there.
the other side of the clouds, the universe still happens. Okay.
I mean, we have a lot to geek out. Look who's here.
Oh, yeah, hey.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Great to see you.
Well, thanks for having me back. I love what you've done with the place.
Yes.
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 Do you know the whole thing?
No,
3.14?
there's an infinite number
Right.
of digits, so the answer
What?
is no to that. I know 8 digits,
Yeah.
but my son, when he was 10, he memorized 60 of them.
Wow.
And now he's like all grown up, he knows 100 digits. Yeah, I filmed that, I posted that on social media today. We'll see.
That's nice.
So he blows me away with
Yeah.
the digits of pi.
So there was this lunar eclipse last night.
Yes.
But again, it was cloudy, so that's why. But beyond the clouds, something happened.
Yes,
as
and you guys in the media like calling these eclipses rare, but they're just
They're not.
I mean, a lunar eclipse happens every couple of years.
Okay.
And anyone who is facing the moon on that side of the Earth will see the lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
So basically half the population of the world at any time can see a lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
So it's not rare, and it's not, and plus it's long, and it's kind of boring.
I was just going to
And-
say, we make it so exciting. And
No, but it is a celestial event. You know, the moon in its orbit crosses into Earth's conical shadow in
Yeah.
space. A reminder that we cast shadows.
Yeah.
And by the way, Earth's shadow on the moon every time is curved.
Yes.
That means Earth isn't flat. If it was just
All
a sort
of you that think it is.
a straight line they went in, then call the authorities
Right.
if that's what you see in the
Right.
shadow.
But remind us again why it's called the blood.
Oh, no, so, okay. So every full moon of the year has a name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And most of them traceable to a more agrarian culture. You've heard of some of them. The harvest moon.
Right.
Yes.
All right? That moon, it rises at sunset so that you can continue harvest into the night.
Okay.
No one lives by the sun and moon anymore. So
Well,
this is just, that's why I don't really care about daylight savings time. So, let me wake up with the sun. Nobody does that anymore. All right? Oh, it's
We
sunset.
never do, regardless.
Let's go to sleep. So I don't care what time my watch says relative to the sun. That's my fast,
So should they get rid of
unsolicited
it?
opinion.
Should they get rid of it?
No, I don't care. I just
you don't care.
I
Okay.
just don't care.
Right, right.
And the range of sunrise and sunset
But don't
time-
you care when you lose the hour of sleep?
Yeah, but okay, but you earn it back pretty. I mean, you get over it pretty fast. That's
I'm
all
still
saying.
struggling. So we're on Friday.
So you have the harvest moon. So this moon, any moon that's eclipsed, they call it a blood moon because light from the sun. The Earth blocks the light from the sun, but some light gets through the atmosphere and leaks into the shadow.
Okay.
And the sun that low in the atmosphere takes on sunset colors.
Okay.
So
I see.
red, amber goes through into the shadow, turning the moon red. I would have called it maybe rose red or apple red,
Blood
but
sounds so-
blood sounds so
violent.
gorgeous. And I want to rename the full moons. I think we're not agrarian people anymore.
What do you want
Yeah.
to rename them? I'm curious.
Oh, how about the first full moon in April? If the full moon in April is before the 15th, it's the tax return moon. I mean, why not? And then if the full moon happens after, then it's the late fee moon. No? February.
That would really help us understand. Yeah.
February,
Important deadlines.
the Super Bowl moon.
Right.
Things that matter.
Yes.
Yes.
So that we don't forget.
And this has also been called the worm moon.
Okay.
If you look at the old Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah.
But that's regional. In the Northeast, it was called the sap moon. Because this is the time of year where the sap rises back up to the tree.
Right.
And people who like maple syrup know that fact.
Right.
You have the sugaring
You
off
can go do the
festivals.
thing. You can go tap the tree.
You tap a tree. Get the sap.
Which is
and boil
happening now.
Now.
Right.
And you boil it down, get maple syrup, one of my favorite foods.
Let's go upstate and do that. Let's do a story on that. You and I go up, we'll tap a tree. That's a show that people would watch.
Yeah, people tap a keg.
Right.
Why not tap a tree? Yeah.
Let's get your thoughts on this because Hazel and I are fascinated by these two astronauts who've just been kind of stuck.
Why is everybody fascinated? Every picture of them, they're smiling, right?
That's a
Have you
bunch
seen
of
them
lies.
look sad?
Well,
No.
you're smiling right now, but in the hallway you were not happy.
I was so worried
camera-
about them. These are professional astronauts. If I'm a professional astronaut and headquarters says you got to
Look
spend
at her hair! This poor woman!
Yeah, it's called 0 G. Oh, well, you think she's worried and the worry energy is making that happen to her hair? No, that's not how the physics works. But, so if you told a professional astronaut, you're stuck in space a little longer.
Yeah.
Would they be sad? No, they're astronauts.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah, but this isn't just like, oh, you're going to be there a couple of days later. This is
It was
life.
it was 9 months. It was a long time. I
Yeah.
get that.
And when they come back down,
but they had food. When they got up there was a half dozen other people there. They had water, although the water's recycled pee. So just
Really?
well, water is everywhere, and you take the pee part out and keep the water part, and you can re-drink that.
But what is that readjustment though when they
come back down?
Oh yeah. So my favorite one. I've spoken to friends of mine who've been in space, and one of them said when they're back on Earth and they have something to drink and they drink, they just let go of it and it just falls down and breaks. And it's hilarious. And it happens a couple of times. Because you never have to place anything anywhere in 0G.
Yeah.
That's a
is
fun
so
part.
fun.
There's some ocular pressure on their eyes that can affect whether they're nearsighted or farsighted. So there are physiological changes.
Yeah.
There are exercise routines that are on the space station. You know what they need? They need a sci-fi solution, which is rotate the space station. You have artificial gravity. Then none of that would be a problem anymore.
Right.
Interesting.
They need you on the case. Let's talk about your new book before we get you go. The new edition of your book, Merlin's Tour of the Universe.
Yeah.
Who is Merlin?
Well, Merlin, I wrote a column a few years ago, 30 years ago. I wrote a column with the pen name Merlin. And you would ask Merlin, "Dear Merlin, I don't understand gravity." And Merlin, I created the character to live for all of time.
Oh, that's cool.
So Merlin would say, well, Merlin had a conversation with Isaac Newton. And then Isaac Newton would give the answer. So it was just a fun romp through the history of science and people's curiosity.
Yeah.
And in there, someone asked, I heard their names for the full moons. What are they? And so Merlin gives the full list, and then gives the. That's where I got this from.
Yeah.
Merlin came up with it.
So you put all
first.
those into a book.
It was all into a book, and I thought Merlin needs to be resurrected for the 21st century because curiosity of the public has not abated.
No, especially in this topic.
Where can we get the book?
Oh, at a bookstore near you. What?
Is it on all?
Oh yeah, everywhere. Oh, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Sweet,
Oh
okay.
yeah. Even I saw on the street corner they were selling next to eggs. They were selling.
You're hilarious.
That was him dressed up trying to buy the book.
Oh, by the way, today is also Einstein's birthday. He was
Yes.
born,
Yes,
he was
we
born on
mentioned
Pi
that.
Day. It was also Steph Curry's birthday today, who just scored his 4,000th three-pointer last night.
Is there a significance to 3.14? Or is like
3.14, if you're only using 2 decimals, that'll get you far. Between friends, 3.14 works.
Yes,
But
that's
you need a little more if you want to do precision. If you're going to build a bridge or fly an airplane, 3.141592.6.
Yeah.
And then it goes
the
on.
airlines these days need 3.14.
They definitely
and
need
many more numbers.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being here. We love having you.
Thanks for having me
Come
back.
soon,
All right.
please.
Security, make sure on the way out because he's trying to take these mugs. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, always great to see you. Nothing to see here. Coming up.
All right.